In this lesson, we are going to discuss licensing types and quantities you will need to consider when working in the cloud. After all, licensing in the cloud is a crucial aspect that organizations need to consider when adopting cloud services. One of the most important things to understand is the licensing requirements for the different types of software and services, particularly for Windows servers. Windows servers require a specific type of licensing, and organizations need to ensure that they have the correct license in place in order to run the applications and services. So let's go back to Amazon Web Services. So AWS manages the licenses for its customers in several ways. They offer a variety of licensing options for Windows servers, including pay-as-you-go or bring your own license. With the pay-as-you-go option, AWS provides the necessary licenses for customers to run their applications and services, and customers are billed for their usage. The bring your own license option, or BYOL, allows customers to use their existing Windows Server licenses on AWS. In addition to these license types, there are also volume licensing, perpetual licensing, and open source licensing that can be used with your virtual machines. Volume licensing is a pricing model that allows organizations to purchase a large number of licenses for cloud-based services such as software as a service applications or infrastructure as a service offerings at a discounted price. This model is designed for organizations with a large number of users, multiple locations, or large computing needs. Volume licensing is often used by organizations that want to standardize on a particular cloud service, reduce costs, and simplify their licensing and billing processes. The volume licensing agreement typically includes terms such as the number of licenses, the length of the agreement, and the level of support. In general, volume licensing provides a way for organizations to scale the use of their cloud services more cost-effectively and take advantage of lower costs as the usage grows. However, it requires careful planning and management to ensure that the number of licenses purchased meet the actual needs of the organization. Perpetual licensing refers to a traditional software licensing model in which a customer pays a one-time fee for the perpetual right to use a software product. This model is often used for on-premise software installations where the customer installs and runs the software on their own hardware, but it can also be used with cloud-based virtual machines too. Perpetual licensing can provide a predictable and stable cost structure for organizations that require a long-term commitment to specific cloud services. However, it may also limit the ability of the organization to take advantage of new technologies or capabilities as they become available, as the perpetual licensing model does not include any upgrades or support beyond the initial purchase. Open source licensing refers to the use of open source software in cloud computing environments such as infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, or software as a service offerings. It's software that is released with a license that allows users to view, modify, and distribute the source code. This means that users can access and modify the underlying code that runs on cloud-based servers and services. And it also allows the user to build and deploy their own custom solutions. Open source licensing in cloud computing offers several advantages, including lower costs, greater flexibility, and customization, and allows access to a large community of developers who can contribute to and support the software. However, it also requires a high level of technical expertise and can expose users to security risks if the software is not properly managed and secured. Overall, open source licensing is an important aspect of cloud computing since many of the virtual machines used in cloud are running some variant of Linux, which is a popular open source operating system. This enables users of Linux to take advantage of the benefits of cloud computing while also retaining control over the technology stack and ensuring that their solutions are based on open standards and technologies. Regardless of the licensing model chosen by your organization, you are still required to keep track of the number of deployed virtual machines that may be consuming licenses and the number of users that may be utilizing a particular software as a service or platform as a service solution. This helps to ensure that they have the correct number of licenses and they are not overspending on licenses that they do not need. Most cloud service providers offer tools to help you understand your cost and usage. For example, AWS provides various tools such as Cost Explorer, Cost and Usage Report, and Trusted Advisor to help organizations monitor their usage and costs and make informed decisions about their licensing needs. So remember, licensing in the cloud computing environment is an important aspect that every organization needs to consider when adopting cloud services. If you are running Windows servers in the cloud, you need to ensure that you have the proper licensing and proper number of licenses in place to legally use it. If you are using an open source system like Linux, it is much easier and cheaper to scale up your operations quickly since Linux servers come with an open source license by default. Your organization needs to ensure that they track the number of deployed virtual machines and number of users they have to make certain that they have the correct number and type of licenses in place for their cloud-based servers and infrastructure.